Hello everyone, delonewolf here and welcome to the Wormhole Diaries. So let's have a look at what's been going on in our as of yet unknown wormhole in the last few days. So first of all, we actually had our first visit. We had a buzzard on D-scan. At the time when we found the buzzard, there were two wormholes inside our hole. One of them was of course our static exit, and the other one was an incoming C2. So we tried to catch the buzzard, but we knew it was pretty unlikely, but we put ourselves on the two wormholes in a cloaked as well. Of course, we were probably spotted during the warp, but we just wanted to get information on whether this buzzard was a resident of the wormhole himself, so in any way connected to the post that we have there as well, or if he was from the C2. Now we think that's the most likely, because when we logged on, we noticed that the entire wormhole had been cleaned up of combat sites, data sites and relic sites. So what probably happened is that the C2 guys had some time left, they found our wormhole as well, and they decided to clean it up, and then probably left a buzzard there to see if there were any other opportunities popping up while the wormhole was still active towards their own C2. So we think that that's what happened. It also does mean that all sites had been cleaned up. So we'd been doing 1 or 2 sites a day before that, but at that point everything was gone, so we couldn't do that anymore. But ever since then, 3-4 days have been without any activity, so there have been no NPC kills or PC kills at that point. So I think it's actually a good chance that this buzzard came from the C2 and was not a local resident, because what we think happened is that no one actually opened up the static anymore, and so nothing came back in to do any of the sites or to fight over or to have any PvP combat that would come from opening up the wormhole. So we think it's very likely that in the last few days there was virtually no activity there, and that it does mean that there might be no one else in that wormhole at the moment, and that whoever we found there in that buzzard actually came from the C2. After that, of course, we did exit the wormhole to join the live event, which unfortunately did not work out exactly the way we wanted. Most of you have probably seen the live stream, because that's actually up to a pretty good number of views. But yes, we should have expected this actually from the news reports that that stuff was going down in nullsec. We should have known that we would be traveling towards nullsec, but in the end we were just too slow in the F-Court fleet. Having to travel through tie-dye stuff for more than 1 hour or 1.5 hours to get close to where we had to be in nullsec, only to find out that the event was already over. Personally, I actually got a little bit frustrated at that point. Not frustrated with CCP or with the FC or the fleet or whatever, just a little bit with the whole situation, because I had opted for a live stream at that point, where just before it I said maybe I should just take a more cautious approach and not live stream it and fraps whatever I find, and that would have probably gotten a better result. I would have been a bit more patient as well with the fleet. But yes, finding out during a live stream that the event was actually over was quite frustrating to me, and that caused me to make all the other mistakes as well. So going ahead of the fleet, despite the FC telling us to stick together, and then attacking that Raven at first opportunity. You know, I noticed the other fleet there. It turns out it was Evioni. They were attacking that Raven. I said, what the hell, I'm going to join in there. Turns out I did still make a pretty good deal ISK-wise, because it was a 370 million ISK Raven that was killed for only my 240 million ISK Hyperion, so ISK War 1, woohoo! But yeah, EV University, I think, were also a little bit fed up with the situation and decided to shoot whatever they could, and that included my Hyperion, and I got killed that way. But yes, it was a little bit frustrating, not so much because of how it was organized or how it was running, but because I was live streaming it, and I knew at that point that I would not be able to really get you guys the footage that I wanted to bring with this live stream, and that did feel a little bit frustrating, but that's all a part of EVE, you know. Just have to plan this stuff better for next time, or just decide that it's better to go with fraps. I would have been much more patient, stayed with the fleet, and probably got some decent footage from the PvP that happened with goons, the fleet getting bombed and stuff like that, and I would have been able to make a decent after report video, I think. But yes, it didn't work out that way, and that's actually all my fault. So really, the person I'm most disappointed with is myself. Well, that's just how stuff goes sometimes. And then back to the wormhole front. We are planning to go back there. We actually have the means to go back there, don't worry, in Stratiosis. So we'll probably, if anything happens in the wormhole that deserves our real attention, we'll find our entrance and go there just to check it out. But if not, we're probably going to continue the series after Rubicon to see if we can get 3 or 4 Stratioses with spider tanks in there with the new depots, and see if we can evolve our decisions towards that wormhole after Rubicon. So anyways, that's it for this Wormhole Diaries, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.